Hey, Slash I do Buckaroos. How the heck are you? And Tom the Whiskey Whisper for this video. Might even become the Beer Whisperer at some point. We're going to play that by ear, but I got something to have with you first. Before we get that far down the road, set this down here. Decided to have some whiskey neat because, fuck ice. Whiskey neat. Got the from Republic Restorative Distillery. This is their apple brandy barrel finished Burrow bourbon. This one is at 92 proof, straight bourbon whiskey, Republic Restoratives Distillery, outspoken, disruptive American. It's another company I like to order from, this one, and then for beer, Minocqua Brewing. So two companies that aren't afraid to take a stand against the current fascism that has seemed to have taken over our country at this particular moment in time. Burrow Bourbon, from the neighborhood bars to the corner stores, the front steps to the blocks we call home, Burroughs built America. In these spaces, movements took shape, strikes, marches, rebellions, boroughs are where solidarity begins. Finished in our own apple brandy cask, this bourbon carries the spirit of folks who refuse to be erased. And it's a sad time that we're going through right now. Our country is becoming unrecognizable. My dad was in World War II, although he did uh, primarily fight in the South Pacific. He did fight against fascism as well. It's sad that this is what we've become. What's even more sad is that you have so many people accepting it as normalcy. I was reading a comment on social media earlier. Someone responding out about ICE being violent and just killing people on a whim at this moment in time. Someone commented, "Well, all I had to do is show my passport, and I was on my way." Simple. Yeah, it is simple. But are we really? Do we really want to be a country where we have to show our papers? I mean, this what this person just described as Nazi Germany, and they're okay with it. They're okay with having to show their papers wherever they go. None of us should be okay with that. But this person is absolutely fine with our country looking like Nazi Germany until it affects them, and at some point it will, because that's what happened in Nazi Germany. At some point, it did affect everybody. They were at first they were just taking away these folks, then it was these folks, and then these folks, and then it was these folks. I'm waiting for when MAGA actually becomes a party of its own, where you have to be invited in, much like the Nazi Party, and then we'll know it's over, baby. It's over for us. It was a good experiment while it lasted. We did some great things. We also created a lot of atrocities. Uh, we did some great things and some horrible things, but now apparently it has come to an end. My brother and I were talking about, a possible, seemingly likely civil war in our future. And he says, "Well, my wife is not in great shape. My health is suspect. We're just gonna, we're just gonna end." And I said, "Well, I don't know. So for me, as soon as I know that that moment is imminent, I'm just gonna open my best whiskey and sit down and enjoy whatever's left until my time is done." Oh man, this bourbon is absolutely gorgeous. Very a very robust 92 proof bourbon finished in those apple brandy barrels, and you really feel that apple brandy right at the end, right? You get those big notes of apple. For me, I'm getting almost like a Granny Smith note, right? Just a slightly tart apple, some cinnamon in there, almost like just a beautiful apple pie. Uh, I had to burn my vacation this year. I had to burn it early. I usually save it till near the end of the year. Usually save it till fall around our anniversary, but I had to burn it early this year because my surgery became well necessity. I knew things were getting bad, but then I went in and they sent me to the surgeon. The surgeon said, "Well, we should do it at this time. This is my earliest date." Couldn't do it then because they needed more time to cover my shifts. But unfortunately, I did have to have. I would think I could probably put it off till March, April, but I knew it was getting bad and just made sense to get it done. So again, had to burn my vacation early. Money's tight, so we're not going. Because I was hoping we can get out of town for a couple of days, but really could enjoy it anyway. But yeah, I got. But I was smart enough. The one thing I was smart enough to do is make sure my freezer was stocked with good meat and seafood. So we're eating well while I'm down. And I always have plenty of good whiskey and beer. It has us good. Don't need to go out anywhere. We're just gonna relax. I could take this wrap off tomorrow. The stitches come out on Wednesday. And hopefully be back to work on Thursday, God willing. Assuming ICE doesn't knock on my door before then, and I have to show papers. I found that really bizarre because they put it so smugly, right? So arrogantly. Well, all you have to do is show your passport. So what you're telling me is all I have to do is show my papers. In a country that's supposed to be free, from going from one place to another, there's random checkpoints where my papers will be checked. And you don't see that Nazi reference in there. I mean, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this individual? How do they not see that we're becoming a fascist country right before you can go anywhere you want, just show your papers. Wait a minute now. I thought we became that country so we didn't have to do that. This is what we fought against, man. And then now it's what we become. Just show your papers and you won't get killed. Yeah. Just comply or you won't die isn't the words of a free country. This is what you say to hostages. Comply or we won't kill you. So America now, we are hostages to the ignorance that is the rest of our country at the moment. Because apparently any of us are going to be killed at will if we don't comply fast enough. I'm just awaiting the knock on my door any second. Did you say this about us? Yes, I did, you cowardly motherfuckers. Bam. I've always joked, somewhat joked anyway, that uh, everyone will know that I ran my mouth to the bitter end. That is going to be what's happening because I'm not going to give in to these mothers. I mean, they can kill me if they want to. I honestly don't care. Well, I won't say that. I do care. I don't want to die, but I'm not going to give in to this fascist nonsense that seems to be sweeping the country at this moment in time. They're not going to get my compliance. It's just disgusting what we've become at this moment in time. That people are defending folks committing murder. He had no choice. Yeah, he had a choice. He was in no danger at that moment in time. He could have gave her a ticket. He could have cited her for something. They could have even arrested her. But he chose to shoot her several times and then call her a fucking bitch. No, there was no need for any of that. If you're defending any of that, you're a horrible individual yourself. There was nothing redeeming about you left if you think that is okay. Anyways, I digress. Drinking the Burrow bourbon tends to get me fired up. This stuff is so awesome. I gotta tell you. I also have their fuck around and find out rye, which is incredible. And then I also picked up their fastest tears vodka, which is a very nicely done 80 proof vodka. I don't find it spectacular in all honesty, but it is a very nicely done 80 proof vodka. But the bourbon and the rye, those products are awesome. It is rather bizarre to me, though, in all honesty, that anybody can be okay with what's going on. It was so bizarre to me that so many folks were defending this person for committing murder. Well, she should have just complied. Well, maybe, but the penalty for noncompliance shouldn't be death. The penalty for noncompliance isn't execution. Give her a ticket, take her to jail if you must, but death? There was nothing that she did that warranted the death penalty. And that is what is so bizarre to me, that you have people actually defending that action. Well, she should have just complied. Again, here we are, Nazi Germany, just like that. You people would have made everybody defending that individual would have made a very fine Nazi. What am I saying? You are making very fine Nazis. If you have defended this individual, congratulations, you're a Nazi. These ICE folks have no business doing what they're doing. They shouldn't be armed. There's no reason for them to be armed. If they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, there's no reason for them to carry any weapons at all. But yes, they apparently they have license to kill at whim whenever they feel endangered. If somebody looks at them, looks at them wrong, oh, I was threatened by that individual. That short fat guy looked at me wrong. I had to shoot him. All righty, man. That's how I'm gonna go out. I swear to goodness, that's the way it's looking. Just gonna enjoy what time I have left. I'm feeling it's limited at this particular moment in time. The way our country's going, I'm not going to go out by natural causes. It's just embarrassing. I mean, my dad was in World War II. My dad fought in World War II to keep this from happening, and you have so many people embracing this Nazi society. It's just sad and disgusting. And what's even worse is you've got folks defending in the name of Christianity. I don't know what the hell Bible they're reading, but it's certainly not the same one I've read. I don't remember Jesus saying, "Show me your fucking papers." I don't remember any of that. But no, that's how they're that bizarre right wing Christian. It just doesn't make any sense, man. But here we are. Show you this bottle again here. Apple Brandy, barrel finished, Burrow bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey. Outspoken, disruptive American, 92 proof bourbon. It's very nice, actually. Is it a tad on the pricey side for 92? Well, the truth is, yes, it is. And I had to have it shipped to me, but buying the 3 bottles, I got the shipping free, so it wasn't bad. Is it more than I typically want to spend for 92 proof? Yeah, in all honesty, it is. But I wanted to try it once. However, now that I have tried it once, it is worth it, and I will buy this product again at some point because it is just done impeccably well. All right, we're just about done here, so I'm going to get up and grab something else here. And I have to decide. I do have a cocktail prep. I do, but I'm trying to decide if I want a beer in the middle of it or not. I'm struggling processing beer lately. I'm the beer whisperer after all. I do love my beer, but man, I haven't been able to drink much for a while now. It's been a couple years. I've just struggling processing beer. My system has just changed. I still enjoy the beer. I just can't drink it like I once did. Do enjoy the whiskey though. Anyway, anyway, I digress. But I do have a beer in mind. The reason is, as I talked about them a little bit earlier, I got this Republic Restoratives. That again, they're a company brave enough to take a stand against what we're dealing with right now. But on the beer side, there's a brewery out of Wisconsin called Minocqua or Minocqua. I don't know how they exactly pronounce it, but again, they're again, it's the same for them. They're not afraid to take a stand. They're not afraid to lose customers because they're gaining others because they aren't afraid to take a stand against what we're battling right now in this country. So, anyway, I'm going to finish this up and I'll be right back. All right. I didn't say to grab a beer here, and it is from Minocqua. It's their Copper Spy Ring West Coast style India Pale Ale. My lighting isn't great, and this lettering is tiny, so I'm probably not going to try to read a lot of this, but I will say this here, or read this part. A percentage of the proceeds from the sales of this beer go to progressive causes. Together, we can move this country back in the right direction, one beer at a time. Amen to that. Anyways, I'm going to open this beer up. I'm able to use my right hand a little bit more, but I don't have quite full use of it yet. It is good enough to pour the beer here, but I'm holding the heavy mug with my left hand, man. Oh, that was a terrible pour, Tom. What were you doing? All right. Well, let that head settle in a minute. I show you this beer, beautiful color. It is described as a West Coast IPA, so that's pretty close to the color that you look for in this particular style. Sort of a deep golden, light amber, maybe. I'm about half colorblind, so you'll have to work with me. There we go. Oh yeah, look how that pours. It's my old Beer Fest mug, my old Beer Fest dimpled mug, and that's how you want it to look right there. That's a perfect pour right there. Oh mercy. So West Coast, what are you looking for from a West Coast IPA? Well, it's become. I feel like it's evolved over the years, and I've had some arguments with some about it. I remember some of the early examples that I tried aren't what is being described as a West Coast now, but nevertheless, typically a lot of big citrus early on, certainly some pine. And this one out of Wisconsin, which is certainly nowhere near the West Coast ish. This one it does do the style justice. But I'm getting a lot of certainly a lot of big citrus, right? A lot of orange, maybe some grapefruit. I'm getting more orange than grapefruit, in all honesty. Um, but I'm also picking up some tropical fruit notes in there that gives way to those pine notes at some point. But it's a very nicely done West Coast ish, West Coast, inspired IPA, if you will. Uh, anyways, anyways, I digress. Like, uh, so Saturday, so I had the surgery done on Tuesday. Um, I didn't drink anything until Thursday, actually. No, actually, that's not correct. I didn't drink anything until Friday. I did get out for a short time yesterday to meet some friends, and then again got out for a short time today only because our we had our granddaughter stay with us last night, and we had to get out take her to the mall because that's what teenagers do. Apparently, still, apparently, still. I mean, I figured that'd be done by now, but nevertheless. Uh, but so I did visit a couple friends today for a short time. Then got home where I can just relax now, drink at my own pace, if you will. It's just a nicely done version of the style. Do I feel like it's a pure West Coast? In all honesty, no. But I don't feel there's anything wrong with it either. It is done well. There's no flaws. I don't know that I'm feeling pure West Coast, but I see where they're coming from, if that makes sense. I think it's a tad lighter on the pine than pure West Coasters would like, but nevertheless, it is done very well. So, anyways, and typically grapefruit will outshine that orange. I'm getting a lot of big orange notes. Ah, biscuits. That's my issue, man. I get so full and bloated drinking beer. That's why I've been really cutting back on the beer. I've been just struggling with it lately. Anyways, launch it. Okay, we're almost in here. I did fix a cocktail. I'll be right back with that. Okay, so I went back to Lifted Spirits for this one. Let me show you this bottle again. I drank this in an earlier video, but I kind of streamlined the cocktail. Oh, well, excuse me. Lab Chronicle triple cast finished rye whiskey. The rye finished in Missouri White Oak, finished in Madeira and Absinthe cast. Now, Missouri White Oak. What makes Missouri White Oak different from most white oak? Well, most Missouri white oak will impart more spice notes, right? So just give you a little spicier finish, more cinnamon, allspice, etc. But this one also then uses those Madeira casks, which could and should impart some dark fruit notes. And then the absinthe cask giving you those herbal notes. So I kind of streamline this, and I'm certainly not going to call it Sazerac, but let's just say it's Sazerac adjacent or Sazerac inspired, because that's all I did with this one. I had the whiskey, the Peychaud's bitters, and rather than just wipe the rim with an orange peel or add any sweetener to it, so I didn't have any sweetener per se, but I did have a candied orange. So that's kind of what I got going there. So because of that, because of how I presented it, I'm not going to call it a Sazerac, but let's just say it's in the neighborhood of a Sazerac cocktail. Sludge it. Because I realized earlier when I had that, oh God almighty, I remember when I had that cocktail, that's just fucking gorgeous. When I had that cocktail, how prevalent those uh, absinthe notes were without actually adding any absinthe, just because of that barrel note. So I didn't add any absinthe to this. I didn't add any sugar to it. I just dropped that candied orange in there and then added the Peychaud's bitters. So it's sort of a Sazerac in spirit, but it's not a true Sazerac. But oh gosh, that is so delicious. It's so easy to drink. It's amazing because it's just the whiskey with those bitters, and wow. Anyway, I digress. I hope everybody's doing all right out there. I am saddened for the state of our country at this particular moment in time. I am worried about some of the things that are going on and that are allowed to happen. I just don't know where we go from here. My brother and I were having an in-depth conversation the other day, and we're not sure we're at the point where we can come back from it now, right? We feel like maybe we're just too far down that rabbit hole now to come back. There are so many people just okay with the Nazi direction that we're going. Like I said earlier, someone said, well, all you have to do is show your papers and you're fine. Well, he said, passport. All you have to do is show your passport. I went on my way. But that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying is show your papers and you're fine. This is what we've become now. We've become a country where you have to show your papers to get from one place to another. Is that really the country we want to be? I'm just saddened that so many people aren't seeing the Nazi parallels. Uh, and again, I'm just not sure that we're at a point where we can come back from it now. I feel like so many people have gone so far down that rabbit hole that there's that cognitive dissonance that they're not able to admit they were wrong now, because then they have to rethink everything they've ever believed in. And I don't think they've got the wherewithal to do that as a whole. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy, launcher.